last time we talked, I wasn't worried about the Lakers. I'm still not worried.
Okay.
But there's, some eyebrow-raising stuff happening.
You think AD going face-to-face with Dwight Howard, but they buried it already, and it's something that needs to be buried just 2 games into the season, and now we're 1 week into the season. A 26-point, lead blown to Oklahoma City. And of all teams, and it's Russell Westbrook ejected because he thought that that Oklahoma City was rubbing their nose in it. Who was it? Was it Baisley was the one who threw it down with 1 second to go? Right. So, what's your take on that?
Well, just that last thing, it was kind of funny because, we were talking about being grown-ass men and being old and whatnot. Kind of reminded me, I'm sure at some point in Russell Westbrook's long and illustrious career, he's done some stuff at the end of games that people didn't think was necessary, but now he's too old for it. So it's kind of like my kid. I'm looking at my daughter and my son, for that matter, and they're talking back, and I'm telling them don't talk back. I'm like, but I did the same thing when I was their age.
Right.
So I'm sure Russell Westbrook did the same thing. And look, the steal and the dunk, was it necessary? No, but you blew a 26-point lead, so you got bigger problems than somebody else's sportsmanship. So it's probably just more frustration than anything. It's too small a sample size. Not to mention the last 2 games have had no LeBron James. So for me to be like, I think it's a lot of confirmation bias going on for the people who are like, see, told you this chemistry experiment wasn't going to work, because we knew coming into the season that they were not going to be a great shooting team. We knew that Russell Westbrook was going to have to adjust to playing with LeBron James, was going to flourish mostly when LeBron James was either on the bench or resting, as the case may be, or injured, unfortunately. And we knew defensively they were going to have some things to figure out. We knew they were an older team. It was going to take time. We didn't know it was going to be this ugly this early, but I still don't want to push the panic button yet. And the same thing goes with the Nets, man. Like Kevin Durant giving the people what they want who already think that they're going to struggle without Kyrie Irving. I'm like, Kyrie Irving is like the internet for me. So last night, it's about 12 o'clock, midnight, I'm up. I had fallen asleep early because I'm old, and so I woke up in the middle of the night. And I went to use my phone, and the internet wasn't working, right? So since I don't have any good cell phone reception, I couldn't really get on and scroll and do what I normally do. So I panicked, and I called Comcast. I'm like, yo, is there an outage in the area? What's going on? What's happening here? And it was like, oh, we don't see anything, but we'll send somebody out to your house. I was like, what's as soon as they can come? Because they got to have my internet. It's like, oh, well, they can come out Friday, if not tomorrow. Like, great, because I can't survive without the internet. So then I go upstairs, and I'm like, damn, what do I do? I can't watch Netflix. I can't stream. I can't do anything. I'm like, wait a second. I can read, or I can go my ass back to sleep. I was like, you know what? I don't need the internet to survive. The internet is a luxury, not a necessity for us. Like, when did we become so dependent on the internet? Likewise, if you got Kevin Durant and James Harden, you don't need Kyrie Irving. He's a luxury, not a necessity. You got the best player in the league, arguably, and another MVP who's just not making shots, and he can't get those crazy foul calls he used to get. Figure it out, make your shots, move on. So I'm not worried about either one of these teams.
So does that mean there's an Xfinity guy that could come to the house and get Kyrie to take the shot? Is that what you're saying to me? To continue the analogy?
They got to make shots. I'm not worried about Kyrie taking a shot. All right, they got to make their shots. That's the bottom line. James Harden's got to play better. When you got Kevin Durant and James Harden, I am not trying to hear what you're missing. It's almost like I could see if they were role players missing their star player. You're talking about that third best player. So this is just really the Nets just aren't playing very well. They got plenty enough to still make it to the finals and win the finals. I'm not backing off of feeling like they're the favorite, despite what we've seen so far.
Well, the deal with Michael Smith, with Russ and LeBron being out, and the whole idea is like, well, we still don't know how the chemistry's not working because LeBron's not out there. But then the flip side that you're hearing is like, well, Russ can only do well because LeBron's not out there, because LeBron kind of stunts his I need to dominate the ball dominating desires, you know what I mean? Like, so that even him performing well with LeBron being out is evidence that the chemistry won't work. That's what we're already hearing.
Look, Russ's flaws are the same as they've been his entire career. He's never been a great shooter. He's always been somebody who dominated the ball.
He missed the three at the end, right? He missed the end. He was one of the guys who missed a three at the end last night. Yeah,
so. He's the same guy he's always been, right?
Right.
Whereas LeBron, who has evolved into a better shooter as his career has gone on, which I don't know how many people saw that coming, but he's a really good shooter. LeBron has always figured it out, even when it seemed like, isn't there some overlap? Isn't there some redundancy here? Like whether it was Dwayne Wade in Miami, whether it was Kyrie Irving in Cleveland, he's always manage to figure out how to coexist with somebody else who needs the ball, per se. He's just too smart not to figure it out. My bigger question, as I said last week, is the defense, and maybe they can get more shooting via the trade deadline or buyout market or what have you. But honestly, I'm not really worried about LeBron and Russ figuring out how to play together when they are playing together.
All right. I buy that, and I buy the same thing about the Nets, too. I think Kyrie's going to come back. I think he's going to take the shot and come back. I don't know why I think that. I just think it's going to happen, you know?
I felt the same way, and I think he's already made his point, and they've already staged an insurrection in his name.
But
I don't think he.
What is his point, though? What's his point? He's made a stance, but I don't know what his point is. You know what I mean?
I don't know, and don't you dare ask me to try to interpret Kyrie Irving. I would not do that.
No, that's what you hear. Even Floyd Mayweather's, video
Rich.
No, seriously. But even that video even the video of his statement that he said, "You stand for something." You keep standing. I'm like, well, what does he is standing? He is taking a stance, but I still don't know what it's for. You know,
Rich, let me give you some professional and some personal advice. All right, man.
Yes.
Like, stop trying to figure these people out, dude. Like I said the other day, I don't give a damn about what the boxer says about the jab. Let me say that again, because that was a bar. I don't care what the boxer says about the jab. Okay.
No, and I understand what you're saying, Michael. But when the boxer has multiple millions of followers on a platform and is saying congratulations on your stance, people don't then take the time to figure out what the stance is. They just figure it's a stance that's right, that he's taking it, and good for you for being right and taking a stance when there is no. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it is.
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, Rich. I understand with you, and I understand you, and I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Right.
I'm just saying I've been there, done that, and gotten a T-shirt. These people, capital T, capital P, there is no getting through to them, okay? The vaccine hesitant, unvaccinated, whoever, they found their symbol, okay? They found their hero in Kyrie Irving, as he rages against the machine. At this point, I'm just exhausted. Been having the same conversation since the vaccine became available, and Kyrie Irving just inserted himself into it. It's like, at this point, I don't care. Do what you want to do. To your original point, I do think he's going to get it, and I don't think anybody's going to hold it against him, given that his career is being compromised, not to mention his salary is being compromised. So whatever point it is he's making, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, there are people to whom he speaks for and to. And that's problematic. I understand how problematic it is to have a Kyrie Irving and the boxer as well, co-signing these falsehoods when it comes to the vaccine.
Have a great show.
I'm just over trying to convince contrarians at this point.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.